I am starting the session and we're going live. We are live and I think we will start in the next 2 minutes. So I think we should start now. All right, great. Welcome everybody. Good afternoon. I hope everybody is doing well. Welcome back to Remote Workforce Summit, day 2. I hope everybody is having a great time attending all the panel discussion and all the session. Well, I'm very, very excited for a final session for the day. It's going to be the afternoon keynote from surviving to thriving using technology to redefine how we work in the new world. And our speaker for today, I'm very excited for this speaker particularly, is Ms. Ginwa Baradi. To give you all a brief introduction for Ms. Ginwa Baradi, she is a regional information officer for HSBC in the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. While she is responsible for the bank's technology function across the region. Ms. Ginwa focuses on creating superior customer experience, business value through technology and innovation, developing IT strategies which result in business simplification and efficiency. In recognition of her work, Ms. Ginwa has recently been awarded Computer Middle East and the Tahawul Tech CIO 100 Award 2020. She has also received the CIO of the Year Award across MENA by the International Data Corporation CIO Excellence Award 2019. So thank you so much, Ms. Ginwa, of taking out time and coming in and contributing all the information that you have in a situation like this. So thank you so much. Before we begin the session, I would request all the attendees, if you all have a question, you can start questioning, putting your questions in Q&A tab. And by end of the session, Ms. Ginwa will answer all of them. So requesting Ms. Ginwa, please start. Thank you.
Thank you, Varsha. And just like, let me make sure that I project my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay. So
yes, I can see your screen, ma'am.
excellent. Thank you, Rasha. So thank you and good afternoon and for all of you to joining the session. I know it's probably the last session of the day, so thank you for all staying connected, and thank you for the organizer for the lovely day. Actually, many interesting topics have been already discussed today. In the next few minutes, I will be talking about how technology is defining the way we work in the new world, and now what we call the new normal, if I would say. So no doubt, it is a very interesting time that we are living in. At the same time, looking and grasping the best of what's exactly is happening, there exist, I would say, many opportunities that we can really grasp and to make our life or our world a much better place to live and a much simpler way of living altogether. So let's take a step back a bit and imagine that this pandemic has hit us really in 2005. What would have really that told us? So what would have really happened? What kind of challenges that we would have really had? So no doubt there was a lack of appropriate tooling for collaboration. There was no cloud computing the way we see it now. BYOD was unheard of. Most our employees probably were assigned desk computers. We had 2G cell phones. We had desktop phones. Elementary communication tool hardly were there. They're very, very elementary. So not the way that we do it now. So what would have that really transpired to if that really hit us in 2005? One, definitely we would have been very slow to react. Two, we would have been slow to adapt due to the lack of technology, lack of preparedness, lack of connections, and few information in our hand were able, or we would have really very few information in our hand to really collect, analyze, and understand what does that mean. A simple example would have been with probably most of us on the call could relate to our kids. What would have really happened to their education without really online learning? Would have lost a year or deferred the year or etc. Now, luckily, and when I say luckily, being a little bit careful of the luckily, not luckily with the pandemic, but luckily of the technology that we really run in our day-to-day as we speak, we do have kind of right tools that has helped us in many, many aspects. One, I think it really helped us to build the right culture to survive and thrive. Two, to continue running our business, to continue commercializing what exactly we have invested, to continue servicing what the customers' needs are and helping them in this pandemic. It enabled us to make the right decision in many formats. It allowed us to build more adaptable and resilience kind of business with the way that we operate. And most importantly, I think the technology really has helped us in tracking what's happening in the world in a different fashion altogether. So what exactly over the past few months, there has been really a true transformation in the way we interacted with our loved ones, our colleagues, the way we have done our work, the way that we have traveled, medical care, spend leisure time, online education, and many other aspects of the routine transaction of the way we live. These changes have definitely accelerated the migration to digital technology at stunning scale and speed across every sector. Consumer behavior and demand patterns have changed significantly, and this will continue to do so. How the economy restarts will differ from country to country based on local regulations, of course, but how leaders navigate the changes will determine the success of the various organizations across. So most of the organization have responded in a kind of 3 distinct phases. And I will discuss each key phase for a successful transition and how to take advantage of what we are going through. And this is very much one of the things that we have really done in the organization of HSBC. The first phase is react. the immediate response to social distancing measures, to movement restriction, to work from home restrictions, to 30%, 20%, 10%, etc. That is the first really phase that you should really be operating, or we have operated on, to get us where exactly we are. Now, I think the second phase is like recover. How do we get into business as usual mode? Because we don't really know the end of this, tragedy that we are really moving on. So how do we stabilize remote working, accelerating digitization, and making sure that everybody is working into a BAU mode. The third, which is the most important phase that we really like, as I said, how will technology really shape up the future of the way we work, is we need to make sure that we create opportunity for customer value, the future of work, to learn the best out of the best of what exactly has happened and leverage on that, and probably also learn from the things that we shouldn't really have done and not repeat it again in the future. So let's start with the React phase, and what does this really mean? So there is no doubt, and according actually to many researchers such as McKinsey, Gartner mainly, organizations which are farther around their digital journey or in the execution of their digital journey have definitely fared better in this scenario or in this situation. At HSBC, the investment that we have embarked upon in the digital space and in the digital tooling has definitely allowed us to do three things mainly. One, respond quickly and take decisions that is needed for our customers and the organization. Two, establish a one single communication portal of what exactly is happening. And I think, one of the things that I would really say that was probably the most important thing, so that you can stay connected and make sure that our colleagues understand what exactly we want to really do, where do we go, how do we do it, etc. So having that one portal of communicating and making sure that everything is clear was extremely essential to our colleagues as well as our customers, and I'll come later to that aspect as well. And the third one is the support and through the culture change. I mean, working from home, or the way I call it, I don't really refer to it as a work from home, is working from anywhere, because some of our colleagues really got stuck in various locations, not necessarily homes. Some of them have stuck in hotels, some of them have stuck in their friend's house or in transit, etc., etc. So that is really helped us a lot in making sure that we continue doing what we need to do, and we continue servicing the customers as we should. So no doubt, the investment in tooling and digitization for us as HSBC manifested in many opportunities. And I'd like to really share a few examples that really, to make the example, or to make the situation realistic. So let's pick the example of the call center. So our contact center before COVID-19, 25% were able to, or we had a 25%, scale to work from home. When we had this pandemic, we moved from 25% to 100% remote working within 2 days. Definitely, we need to make sure that the service level kept maintained at the right level with extended. So we adopted some extended hours, and this is where, going back to my earlier point, that pandemic allowed us to really adapt quickly to the scenario, having the heart and or having the customer in the heart to ensure that we serve them better. And not only that, we also found out that actually there are many transactions that are done by the branches or by various other channels actually could be done by the call center. So now we're learning from most of these things, how do we minimize the pressure and the stress on the branch side and move them into the call center. So that was one example. The second example, from a remote working point of view for our colleagues, before COVID-19, we had 57% allocation of working from home. Now we have reached 80%. And within 2 weeks, we have really made sure that everybody can really work from anywhere in the where they are based, and continue accordingly. Now, having said that, there are dependencies on the functions. Certain functions operate 100% scale. But on an average, as an organization, 80% is working from home. According to Gartner, it's very important here actually to mention. I mean, Gartner has done an analysis before the COVID-19, and they said remote working is going to really hit as organization on an average of 30%. That 30% was for us 57%. And again, due to technology and the investment in technology. And post-COVID, they expected 48% range. We stand now on 80%. So that's really a great story to tell. Zoom that we are now on in HSBC, we rolled it out for 10,000 staff in the MENA region alone over a week time. And on an average, we have like around 15,000 meeting. Keeps running. And when I say meeting, it's not like for the sake of content meeting. Is just like to make sure that we are under the execution mode of what we need to really deliver. The other one, which is extremely important, I would say, is examples like as e-signature. So e-signature was one of the projects we wanted to really launch due to many reasons. One of them is the regulations in specific countries. E-signature is not allowed, and no, you have to really come physically. We have to see you. That the pandemic has urged us to really deploy e-signature ASAP because we need to make sure that the customer is well served. So we were able to roll it out within 3 weeks versus if we were to really do it in the normal time and the regulatory and the compliance and the legal approval, etc., it will take us far more than that. Information hub, I would say, I think, I mentioned that in terms of the communication and how important it is to really keep our colleagues up to date of what exactly is happening with the COVID and where do I go, where I shouldn't really go, how I should really do my job correctly. I mean, that was an extreme important fact that we have put together. And again, as I said, the last one is the cultural change that started really allowed us to engage more with our colleagues to make sure that they have the right equipment in hand to operate actively and proactively as well. I'll go to the second phase, which is the recover phase. And how do we stabilize mainly the remote work while accelerating the digitization? That's extremely important aspect for all of us, I would say, in all industry. So 4 things I would like to really highlight. One, the pandemic shut the door on the post-industrial age, and it's likely to be the true start of the new digital age. Digital business constructs are becoming mandatory, and workforce digital agility, that is the ability to and ambition to live and work digitally and in an agile fashion, will be the greatest factor in driving continued organization process. So digital, I would say digital first. Second, the effective remote work programs. And this requires, it's not about giving somebody or like myself now or us on the call a VPN connectivity to really log in and work from anywhere or from home. Effective remote working is a program that requires cross-functional team collaboration and understanding to make sure we have the right policies, procedures, and to understand how exactly we are running this. So let's not really underestimate that. Many workers continue to struggle with lack of private space, children at home, health concern, worries about finances, etc. So do not underestimate the well-being factor of that. It is extremely essential. Successful companies will have to redesign their operations and supply chain to protect against a wider and more acute range of potential shocks. So we should learn from this pandemic and say something like that, similar of happening, how exactly I want to really survive that. Again, a few examples of our organization. As I said, we responded heavily and quickly to regulators because regulators, as an example, enforce some fees waves, rescheduling of loans, have to really increase the limit on certain channels or certain cash withdrawals. Again, you don't have digitization, you cannot really do that on time. We created dashboards for our specifically corporate customers to understand and make use of the AI and make use of the artificial intelligence of what exactly the behavior, where are they? Our logo for our HSBC is we are an international trade organization. So we need to really follow them and make sure that our international trade customers understand, and they know what needs to be done and how can we help them from ourselves. And that again couldn't have been possible without the AI and better analysis from within. Various client webinars that we have conducted, and this is was probably one of the positive things that we have done, to just tell them about the digitization, cyber awareness, like work from home capabilities, tooling capability, etc. And 83% of our clients said that they will never go back to work from home the way that they used to, or they would like to really use our digital platform much better than before. So these are probably a couple of examples from the recovery. But again, in summary, you need to establish the policies and procedure around remote working. We need to ensure we have the right data about our customer to serve them more, and most importantly, understand the communication aspect to that and their behaviors, and refocus the investment around the digital solution as much as possible. The third phase, which is the Reimagine, is the need to look for opportunities to drive value for our customers. So the future of work, defined by the use of more automation and technology, was always coming. We know that. Okay, we knew about robotic and RPA for a long time, but I think COVID-19 has, one way or the other, hastened the pace. And employees across all functions have learned how to complete more tasks remotely, and really with less bureaucracy and less, again, while re-engineering the procedures and policies around that. And according to McKinsey, this shift will call for substantial investment in workforce engagement and training in new skills, much of it delivered using the digital tools. So we need to rethink the way we operate. It is the time for more partnerships and the true establishment of relationship with our customers, as well as across the ecosystem. The new oil now is the data. How do we accelerate digitization and AI? And we heard a lot of our colleagues today talking about AI and the power of AI. Collaboration is essential. It's no longer about a product base for our customer. It's about the customer. And how can I understand the customer from A to Z, end to end? I want one RM to talk to me. I don't want many RMs by product. Automation and elimination. We heard today a lot about automation. I would say automation plus elimination, because where we can eliminate and re-engineer our process to simplify the way we serve the customer, we should really take that and grasp that as an opportunity and run with it. And then if we cannot, then automate. And most importantly, we need to make sure that to drive the execution at pace, we need to train our colleagues in the right area. So how do I make sure that I have the right information and right tools and courses that I have to really build. So in HSBC, we have what we call HSBC University, where we have created an IT digital curriculum to train our people on AI, on robotics, on cloud, on microservices, on API. That would be, I would say, extremely essential. We, as examples as well in HSBC, cloud is another area of, the cloud is our strategy in terms of cloud is first in anything that we want to really do. Digital is first in anything that we want to really do. We have many examples on biometrics and Face ID, Touch ID, and soft tokens that we continue to really embark upon. And even the fintech, we've never really felt that fintech is a threat. As a matter of fact, fintech are opportunities that they are where they need coaching and mentoring with the like of us as bankers to make sure that what they are delivering is the right thing to do. And probably in summary, great lessons that we have learned from whatever has happened over the last couple of months. Keeping the customer at heart of everything that we do is definitely essential, and continue to act quickly and decisively is the key to survive and the key to succeed. During the current crisis, business have worked faster and better than they thought possible before the COVID-19. So we should learn a lot about this as well, and continue doing that, and reducing bureaucracy. I think we need, going forward, to maintain that sense of possibility will be the true essence of competitive advantage. and with clear goals, focused teams, and rapid decision making, definitely that has replaced a lot of corporate bureaucracy to really deliver much faster and much at pace. Thank you for listening. If I can be of any help, please let me know and do reach out to me, and happy to answer any question.
Yes, we have quite a lot of questions, and I'm going to start with Deepanshu asking what were the challenges you had to go through the transition from 25% of work from home to 100% in the first 3 weeks.
So I think the first thing I would say is to make sure that you have the right infrastructure in place. That's one. And the second one is the mindset of the organization that is extremely essential. So those two aspects really have to have hand in hand. The know-how of to work from home, the know-how to deploy those tools, and the culture change, or the cultural set, I would say. I wouldn't say cultural change in HSBC, but the cultural set of allowing people to work from home and given that accountability to work from home is extremely essential, but that cannot really be done just overnight without having the investment in the right tooling to really adopt. But I would say the best thing that we have done that allowed us to succeed is before COVID-19, it was a mandatory aspect for us to work from home on regular basis to test whether this work or not. So it wasn't like, yeah, I can work from home, but I will never work from home if not necessarily. It wasn't mandatory for us to really at least work at least once a day and test that all the tools and everything that I can access and I need to access is available for me.
All right, next question by Gulam. How we will deal emotional intelligence while in coordination with team, especially customers?
That's an excellent point and an excellent question, actually. So I remember when we started the COVID-19, the first week when we started really having the people working from home and increasing the percentage, the first thing that we have initiated along that is a well-being kind of a episode or a forum that we established, whereby there is a weekly by sessions on well-being. What does it mean to us? How do we stay connected? And we started as line manager, simple things like, coffee in the morning, coffee in the afternoon, connecting people together, checking on each other's. I think that is, and this is one of the things I alluded to in the presentation. Do not estimate that well-being factor or the depression mode, I would say, when you really start from I'm working from office all the time, I'm surrounded with my colleagues, and all of a sudden now I am at the house. I had one of my people requesting he wants to really go back and take leave and stay with his family in outside Dubai, and his justification was, I am within 4 walls, right? So I think it is extremely essential to stay connected and create those aspects like celebrate a holiday or celebrate a birthday or celebrate a success of a project or celebrate even a failure on the call or on a Zoom or wherever, and stay connected. We have tooling as well on same time in the organization where, at any point of time you are really connected in various aspects and people can talk to. So definitely that is an extremely essential point. And our human resources function as well, we work very closely with them to make sure we create those programs from well-being and sessions, yoga sessions, gym sessions that people participate to and subscribe to run on regular basis.
All right, there are many questions, but I promise you this is the last one. I know she has to go and attend her daughter's convocation, so she has
Virtual
virtual
graduation.
convocation. Yes, she did mention to me, but last one. Mr. Vinod is asking, e-signature laws is important, but is e-signature and digital signature the same? Can you please explain on this?
Yes and no. It depends on the service that we are providing. They are interlinked, but there is an aspect of differentiation when it comes to certain services. Probably the answer is yes, but we need to be a little bit differentiating when we are talking about the type of the product that we are servicing the customer, because central banks decides on certain type of customers as certain various signatures than the others. Happy to be contacted offline as well,
Sure,
for
Dan.
any.
I think we had a great session. I think all the attendees have so many questions. I would request all the attendees to have your question in the Q&A tab. Ms. Ginma will go back and answer all of the questions that you mentioned there. Thank you so much, Ms. Ginma. It was absolute honor having you coming, taking out time and speaking about such an important topic that we have. Well, we've done with our session, and I would like to thank all the attendees. Thank you so much of coming out, taking out time and coming and participating for 2 days and making Remote Workforce Summit such a successful event. I hope you all had a great time. And before we end this, I would like to give a special thanks to all our sponsors. That would be Automation Anywhere, Nutanix, Blue Prism, Oracle, TeamViewer, Poly, ForcePoint, Tata Communication, Software AG, and Mindware RSA for showing massive trust in our capabilities. Thank you so much of taking your time and coming and participating to all the attendees once again. My name is Barsha. I'm from Khaleej Times. I had a great time attending all the session. Thank you so much. I hope everybody's doing well and everybody's safe. Take care. Bye-bye. Hoping to see you all getting all the questions answered. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye. All the sessions will be recorded and it will be available on the platform. So I request all the attendees to want to go and have a look at the sessions. We definitely can go back and look at the recorded ones. Thank you.